Hello, my incredible and visionary Aquarius friends, and welcome to my channel, Gift of Astrogab, and thank you so much for joining me. We're here to discuss your April 2021 astrological forecast, astrological chat, and what a month April is looking to be. It is a lot of dynamic energy. It is not it's really it's moving a lot more than even March, and we're getting a lot of these beneficial aspects called sextiles, and mostly that we have those sextiles, and we also have a few squares. Now the squares are often thought as points of tension, but in reality what they are is movement. They're aspects that move, that get us doing something, whether it's through a nudge from an outer source or an internal nudge. Sometimes it could be an internal discomfort that gets us moving, whereas a sextile moves us in a more just directly encourage. It's more of an encouragement. Whereas a trine could also be, there is a trine in this month in my reading. And that's more like, more like a euphoric, just free-flowing energy, absolutely. But we need squares as well, because friction gets the fire going and the fire gets the engine moving. So yes, so with that, I want to say that April's looking way progressive, way more beneficial than anything else. And any point of tension is just to get you moving towards the future. So with that, let's get into your April 2021 aspects for the day-to-day. Aquarius, on April 2nd, to start you off, we have Mercury in Pisces in your second house, and it's sextiling Pluto and Capricorn in your 12th. We have a dance here between your values and your, the values you've acquired and your internal spiritual house here. And there is a sextile, so it's very beneficial. It's like there's puzzle pieces on the table and you're putting them together, but the puzzle pieces are already forming the picture that you want to put together. So sextiles make things a lot easier to make sense out of. Now with Mercury and Pisces, you're doing this in a dreamy way. You're being in your second house, you have communication there, having to do with your finances, having to do with your values, having to do with the material goods you have around you, and they're benefiting this transformation that's taking place in your spiritual life, in the 12th house, in your meditative space, in your maybe the things that people don't see about you. You're behind the scenes, it's getting help from a creative communication, or getting creative about your values that you've had, or maybe this transformation that you're having in your life, in your spiritual life, is affecting positively and beneficially those values. It could be allowing you to dream up new values. This is a very revolutionary time, and a revolutionary month, so this is really great for you, Aquarius. Now on the 3rd, we have a very different energy. We have Mercury, the planet that was just in Pisces, going to Aries in your 3rd house. So I see here that you could be really finding, you want to communicate about all these new values you're learning, about all the spirituality that you're going through, whatever, or your new meditative practices or things like that. You're wanting to talk about it. You're wanting to communicate. So you're putting action to it's like you have this urge to communicate about um, a spiritual transformation and how it's like enlightening you, and making you value things more in life. And that's really nice. So on the 6th, we have Venus in Aries in your 3rd house, again, a communicative house, and it's giving you a loving aspect. And that loving aspect in your communications, you could be getting like, communications to you or in your local environment, that's like good news. And it's regarding your 5th house, which could be your it's your creative house. You could be getting like inspirations. Venus can be inspiring you, and like, oh my god, I love this new I want to take this new action creatively. I want to like engage myself creatively. Or it could also be, 5th house is also a dating life. So you're getting a text, you're getting communication from someone you're dating, or you're doing a lot of active things towards dating, your dating life, and finding. Venus is in Aries is very direct, so you could be very direct in your communications when it comes to dating, and in your actions, you're like back and forth. You're kind of this really playful energy here for you. And if you have children, it could also be that you are communicating directly to them in a loving way, on how they can be more creative, how you guys can like spend more time with them in fun ways, and that's really nice for you as well, Aquarius. So on the 9th, we have Mars and Gemini in your 5th house again. This is a theme for you guys. There's 5th house energy, and you're taking action with regards to either your dating life or your creative life, if you're an artist or something like that, or your children as well, which you created, and it's a very creative house. So you can be taking action, and there is a square there with Neptune and Pisces in your 2nd. So there's a point of reflection, or reflective tension. There's a little bit of friction there, and you're trying to strike a balance between your values. If you're a parent, it could be your values and your children's actions. Your values being that it's in Pisces and Neptune's there. You're probably trying to discover yourself. Discover, like, it's not happening right away. So there's tension there. You're like trying to imagine why your children could be, could be the way they are, or like, why are they so creative? Like, and being Neptune, you'll find that balance. Neptune's naturally in Pisces is very creative. So your values are going to get you to understand your children, but there might be a little bit of angst in you for that. So if this is dating, you could have a little bit of, it's a little awkward, like, this person I'm dating, but you know what, like, I'm cool with it. Like, let's work this out. Let's use our imagination and move forward. And if you're a creative person, there's just this idea of like action for creativity, and then you're kind of like second guessing yourself with your internal, the way things have been already, but you're imagining yourself through that. So on the 10th, we have Mercury in Aries in your 3rd house, and it's sextiling Saturn and Aquarius in your 1st. We have a very direct communication here in business, or like your local environment, your local community, in your communications in general, and it's beneficial. It's beneficial for for you. It's beneficial for the new person that's coming out of you, that you've been becoming. And Saturn there is stabilizing that. It's stabilizing this new you, and it's doing it in a fast way and through quick communication. Now, on the 11th, we have the new moon in Aries in your third house. This is a big deal because the new moon in Aries is a great time to initiate new beginnings. And being that it's in your third house, you could be initiating it could be a new business in communication. It could be like local commerce for you, or just local travel even. Like making new plans to travel in the future, to do something like really exciting like that. Now on the 11th as well, Venus in Aries in your third house, it's squaring Pluto and Capricorn in your 12th. So maybe if you're planting new seeds for like a new venture, local commerce, or just things like that, you have to strike a balance between like how you're transforming spiritually. How does my new spiritual self, that's like the phoenix rising out of the ashes, that went through maybe traumatic moments in the past, but now is coming out of it, how is that, I have this whole new way of communicating, and Venus is there kind of like blessing that, like, but how does it work together? Like, how does like my spirituality and my communication, like, how do I make that work? How do I make that, make sense for others and for myself? Now, on the 13th, the Sun in Aries in your third house is sextiling Mars and Gemini in your fifth. And this is a lot of vitality in communications. It may be local travel. You have like the zest to do that. And it's really working with your actions for dating. So when I put this together in my head, you could be just really active with communication with dates, or you're traveling locally to find someone, or you're meeting someone locally, and it's looking like it's going very well. It could also be communications with your children are going well, and you guys are either traveling together or just doing creative things. And it could also be, as an artist, you have this vitality with your actions and your words. If you're a singer, I would say it would be a good time to, just a very inspirational time for you as well, to just act on your creative juices. Now, on the 14th, we have Venus entering Taurus in your fourth house. This is a new house here, and this is your home. This is your hearth. This is your family. And Venus being there, it's bringing a lot of. This is a day that you could just be like, "Hey, I'm popping into the home," like, or "Hey, like, oh my gosh, I want to like connect with my family." This is a really good thing for you because it strikes the balance between that dating life, or let's say you have children, but then you want to visit your parents, and no one feels left out. So because you're giving them time. Now on the 15th, the middle of the month, we have the Sun in Aries in your third house, sextiling Jupiter and Aquarius in your first. We have this vitality in communication, or you're traveling locally, and it's expanding something within you, because you've been doing a lot of inner work, but it's actually expanding your person, like your body, like it's giving you a lot of energy. It's giving you like the desire to go far. Maybe you even have the desire to travel a little further locally, not just like around town, around your county, maybe state to state, because Jupiter is in your first house, and it wants to go places and learn a lot of new things. So I can see that here for you with the Sun in Aries as well. All right. So on the 16th, we have the Sun in Aries in your third house, squaring Pluto and Capricorn in your 12th. Now, these squares, I like to say that they're concretizing um, the changes that are happening, the revolution you're going through, the transformation you're going through, because they make you reflect and or they make you move as well on these inspirations you're having. And sometimes that can happen with a point of tension. Someone tells you something and then it kind of irks you, but then you like move on it. So on the 16th, we have like I said, we have the Sun in Aries in your third house, squaring Pluto and Capricorn in your 12th. So there's this vital communication going on, and it's kind of like you could be getting a lot of information, a lot of information really fast and really strong, and within you, within the part of you that's spiritual, the part of you that is deep and meditative, is trying to figure out what all this information means and what it means to you, because you're expanding upon yourself during this time. Because on the 17th, we have a resolution. We have there to this tension you have within yourself between all this information and the transformation in your spiritual life. On the 17th, we have beneficial aspects coming, and you're just, I think the fun you're going to be having with your dating life or with your creative life or with your, let's say you're doing traveling or whatever, it could be with your children, it's helping you to understand yourself better. So on the 17th, Mars in Gemini in your 5th is trining Jupiter in Aquarius in your 1st. Now, the actions you're taking, like today, or for playtime, or creative life, or time with your children, it's really benefiting you. It's really benefiting that part of you that wants to learn new things, that wants to travel, because you may be traveling with either a person you're dating or you yourself and being creative while you're doing it, or with your children. And it's just really, it's like feeding you. It's like feeding that part of you that wants to explore. Because on the 17th as well, we have Mercury in Aries in your 3rd, sextiling Jupiter in Aquarius in your 1st. So another sextile for you, benefiting you. We have communication, quick communication, easy communication with, like I said, your dating life, your life with your kids, or your creative endeavors. And it's going well with you, and you're going well with it. So on the 17th, Mercury in Aries in your 3rd is sextiling Mars and Gemini in your 5th. Again, this communicative, playful energy, playful actions, direct communication, benefiting you, Aquarius, benefiting you in a big way. And on the next day, on the 18th, we have the Sun in Aries, big vitality, again, in your communications, conjuncting Mercury and Aries in your 3rd. Sun and Mercury conjuncting, that's like bringing everything to culmination of, that communication in a communicative house. And the way you guys communicate, Aquarius, is like automatically and naturally really quick, really like fast, like lightning bolt. And this is just making you even more Aquarian, even more yourself in your communications. Now, on the 19th, going back to the home and hearth, we have the Sun and Mercury entering Taurus. So it's coming from all this dynamic communication energy and kind of slowing it down a little bit to your home. Maybe you were traveling before this, and now you're coming home. You're relaxing, you're enjoying it, you have a lot of energy still, and you want to communicate and do things around the house as well, or nurture yourself after like a lot of moving around. So on the 22nd, we have Venus and Taurus conjuncting, coming together with Uranus and Taurus in your fourth house. So maybe all the things you've been learning while you're traveling or dating or all this creativity it's reflecting on your home, and you're taking it in because Uranus being in that home family life, it's like you're very malleable to new ideas in that aspect too, because Aquarians, Taurus rules their home and family life, so that's the one part of their life they like stability. They like it to be okay. I know it's gonna happen here because everywhere else in my life it's crazy, like crazy genius, but crazy nonetheless sometimes. But even in your home right now, like things have been shaken up. So, but Venus is there, so it's like a good shakeup, and you're welcoming it. You're welcoming all the nuance. So on the 23rd, the next day, we have Mars entering Cancer in your sixth house. This is a house we haven't talked about this month, but it's an energy that's important because with all this movement, Mars wants to take action to implement all the new things you're learning into your day-to-day life, the sixth house, into your routine, or you could also be going back to work, a job that you had before, or it's a new job and it's a new routine. Mars is action, so you're taking action towards something about your routine. It could be your health too. You could be having more energy because sixth house rules like your health and your body, or Mars entering Cancer, something with pets. You're taking action. Maybe you're getting a new pet, or you're having a lot of energy. Your pets have a lot of energy. Now on the 24th, we're ending the last week of April. We have Mercury in Taurus conjunct Uranus in Taurus in your fourth. That is very wonderful with this home life because communication is flowing. Your heart might be desiring that nuance, whether you know it or not, in your home. Because of all the changes you've been going, maybe you felt like at odds, but now your heart is entering into it and you're like, you know what, I'm ready for this. And you're communicating about it as well. And the 25th, Mercury in Taurus in your fourth house is squaring Saturn and Aquarius in your first. Now, you're with every change, there comes like, okay, I need to balance this out. I need to reflect. I need to figure out if all this, all the stuff, the new stuff that's happening in my home is okay with me. Like, is it really like, I'm looking at myself and I'm wondering like, where do I fit into these changes with home? That's the kind of energy that I'm feeling here with the squares. And then you have Jupiter there, which is very beneficial. So with all these other positive, beneficial aspects around during this month, I see you coming through saying, yeah, okay, all these changes that are happening around me with my family or with my home and with myself, I'm okay with it. I might have to wrestle with it a little bit, but I'm coming through and I'm actually loving it because on the 25th again, you have Mercury in Taurus conjuncting Venus in Taurus in that fourth house. So you're talking with yourself, you're talking with other people in your family, and it's like you're finding out that you're actually liking these changes. Now on the 26th, the full moon in Scorpio in your 10th house. So all this energy you're going through with whether it's dating, family, your kids, and implementing all this new nuance in the home and your routine, the full moon brings everything to a head. So all this energy is like, it's manifesting in your 10th house. So there could be, it could be pointing you towards like, what do I want to do? Like, what's my legacy? What are all these changes doing my goals. How are they changing my goals? How are they? What are my goals and aspirations? And how is all this getting me there? Now with the full moon, um, it's kind of like your emotions bubble up to the surface. It could be very happy, laughing, smiles, or it could be tears. Like you could just be feeling very emotional. But either way, it brings all the emotions, and it actually improves your emotional IQ, because when everything bubbles up, um, there's a certain letting go of certain emotions that you don't need, that have weighed you down. And when the moon starts to come back down from that full moon, you're like, okay, good, I released this, and now I have way less of a mess in my emotional bag, and it helps you move forward in a much better way. Because on the 27th, we have Pluto going retrograde in Capricorn from April 27th to October 6th in your 12th house. Now, Pluto has been direct, and it now is going retrograde. It intensifies its energy because it slows down. It doesn't necessarily go backwards, it just looks like it, and it's just like kind of slowing down and concentrating its energy. Now, being that it's in your 12th house, it's, again, with all the changes and everything that's going on, spiritually, you've been going through quite a bit with Pluto there. Spiritually, and like also the things that you do kind of like behind the scenes, and no one's really like aware of it, but it's like really deep within you and your psyche. And with all that's going on, that has been going on in April and before April, you're reviewing very passionately, like your spirit, those beliefs, those like what is life and stuff like that. And you're going to be doing that from April 27th to October 6th. Not every second of the day, but that's going to be a theme. You're going to be like, oh, okay, like what have I learned spiritually and stuff like that, and where do I want to go from here? Now, on the 29th, we have Mercury in Taurus in your 4th. This is ending up in a really high note, April. Mercury in Taurus in the 4th, it wants to communicate about home, about family, wants to get things moving in the family, and it's sextiling Neptune and Pisces. So you're finding creative ways, maybe financially too, to benefit your home, or maybe your home is benefiting you financially, and it's helping you value your home more in a way that's like a higher love for your home as well. And now on the 30th, the Sun in Taurus is conjuncting Uranus in Taurus in your 4th. So a lot of action for that 4th house, for that home life, for that family life, big focus. And you're getting a lot of energy for all the changes that are happening, or that are going to happen, or that have happened. And you're using your imagination, you're dreaming up new values, new ways in how you value your family, and value the way you nurture yourself, and the changes that are happening in those areas of your life. And Aquarius, this is amazing for you. It's changing you. It's bringing you to the next level of yourself. And I'm really happy for the growth that you're having. And it's a big time for you. So yeah, with that, I wanted to say thank you so much for joining me on my channel and for this monthly chat. And have a great April and beginning to spring, and I hope to see you guys again in May. Please feel free to comment, share, subscribe, like, all that good stuff. And yeah, thank you so much.